Awesome. So good to bump into you randomly here.
Oh, yeah.
Firstly, why don't you just quickly introduce yourself, more about what you do, what's your role, and how has been your journey so far in Web3?
Oh, yeah. So my name is Lihan. I am the co-founder and CEO of Xangle. At Xangle, we do a lot of things, but mostly we provide go-to-market services for the Korean market with a focus in our research, as well as we provide infrastructure services for Web3 foundations, such as the validators, our Explorer, and our Xangle Hub.
Nice. And when you say infrastructure services for Web3 foundations, any particular foundations that you're very actively working with?
Yeah, Aptos
Okay.
is one of our core key partners. Recently, we're also quite actively working with the Zero Z Foundation
Nice.
and many others, like the Maple Story Universe, which is currently the top project in the Kaito
Yeah.
voting.
Yeah.
There have been very close partners since started since 2 3 years ago, and many more.
Yeah.
But we're trying to keep our clients in a manageable size so that we are actually being able to care about them.
Nice. And with respect to the entire Xangle hub, tell us a bit more about it because I've gone through Zero G. We're one of the closest partners with
Yeah.
them as well, helping them from nodes front, helping them at testnet front. So, would be very keen to learn more about what's Xangle hub all about.
Oh, yeah. So the start was like we once we're finding some opportunities in the Explorer space. We thought that most of the explorers tend to be too much developer centric, whereas many L1s and L2s that are coming up right now tend to be trying to be more user centric,
Yeah.
trying to be more ecosystem centric.
Yeah.
So we're trying to expand the features, expand the UX experiences of a particular explorer, and then all of a sudden we came up to the idea: why not like build a dedicated hub, a place where people can interact with a single place where we can do the swabs, we can do the bridge, and
Nice.
other core decentralized application experiences in one place that is seamlessly interwoven together.
Nice.
So that was the kind of the motivation to build our hub. We've been building our hub with the Aptos Foundation as well as the Zero D
Nice.
Foundation, and we're seeing a lot of traction in terms of users who are using it. So yeah, we're looking forward to find more partners that we can work with in terms of our hub.
Awesome, awesome. If I have to ask you, because yes, we've been also working in the infrastructure space, just providing kind of more focus towards foundations and retail to come in, non-technical users to come in as well. What has been some of the biggest challenges for you with respect to maintaining this Angle hubs, reliability, uptime, like performance? Like, what are the biggest challenges that you
In terms
generally
of
face?
running validators.
Anything, like just more about
Okay.
Xangle hub in general.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
what are some of the biggest challenges you face?
Yeah, so in terms of the user experiences, I think we've been making a lot of advancement, a lot of progress over the last maybe 2 3 years. Um, Everything has been much more faster. The transaction fee has been lowered to a level that is right now not any more significant anymore for everyday users to
Yeah.
do the transactions. But still, because of the decentralized nature of our infrastructure, there are some learning curves that new incoming users has to experience.
Got it.
Where we find more opportunities recently are actually the AI agents.
Okay.
They are, I think, is a kind of a wrapping layer that can solve a lot of UI UX problems.
Okay.
Like instead of like going through the tutorials, you can just very naturally chat with the chatbot that can help you through to navigate through all these difficult UX experiences.
Yeah.
And it can also teach you, teach step by step how to, for example, to bridge, to swap, even how to get test tokens in a deposit, and so forth. So that's a place where we find a lot of opportunities in the future.
Nice.
In terms of the validators, there we are also trying out a lot of new things using
Interesting.
our AI.
Okay.
Like our end goal is to provide kind of a documentation
Okay.
to our AI agent, and it should like automatically read the document,
Okay.
like spin up a node in our infrastructure, and then run the node, and also do all the maintenance
Stuff.
operations
Yeah.
according to the announcements automatically, and report the progress
Okay.
to our surveillance team. So that's our end goal. But surprisingly, we are getting very fast close to our goal.
Nice.
Recently, like we've been very successful in spinning up, for example, um, node internally in our infrastructure based on LLMs, which
Nice.
interacts with the browser directly,
Yeah.
exactly as the human would do. So that's kind of a breakthrough that we're making internally recently.
Got it. And do you see any risks associated with this? Of course, when it comes to AI agents based automations for these workflows, this is something that, I particularly know everyone is trying to do in terms of automation across the board, but glad that you've already reached to almost 90% or 95% of that goal. Like, what do you see are the risk factors involved here, and how are you trying to mitigate it?
Yeah, so I think it is fairly not very difficult to reach the level of the proficiency a human operator would do in terms of 90 to 95%. But like closing the rest of the gap, that's kind of a challenge.
Yeah.
So we will still need people to will take care of it.
Yeah.
But still, I think with the help of AI agents, I think you will be able to manage more. For example, nodes,
Yeah.
validator nodes that
Yeah.
you would be able to handle without those help of the agents, as well as you could also be deepen in terms of how well you manage a particular node.
Yeah.
Because if you have to handle multiple nodes at once,
Yeah.
then the amount of time you can spend on each node, that's still a challenge. So
Yeah, trust me, that's that's one of the biggest challenge so far. When you have like a huge amount of nodes that are
Sure.
distributed across various clusters, managing it, maintaining it, definitely aligned with you on that. And how are you trying to mitigate it right now?
Yeah, so the point is not entirely be dependent on our AI agent, but effectively utilizing the tedious work that it does for you.
Right.
So and also have a scheme and a system to monitor whether it does the right thing that
Yeah.
you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Sometimes it diverges away and doing something strange as it should do, but like having some appropriate monitoring system and also reporting system from the
Yeah.
AI side. That's I think what's important.
Nice, nice. And where are you deploying these nodes right now? Where is Xangle Hub today from a cloud perspective, from an infrastructure perspective? Like, is it all right now across a centralized cloud provider? Or are you also looking to expand towards DePIN and take the potential of actually truly decentralizing it?
Yeah, so we are maintaining a hybrid approach
Okay.
where we also utilize the public cloud providers such as the AWS or GCP and others.
Okay.
But we are also maintaining our own IDC service.
Nice.
So we are running about currently about 170 servers.
Okay.
So which is actually required to lower our cost in terms of managing the huge amount of on-chain data we are
Right.
managing internally. So
Yeah.
that's the reason why we are managing two ways to deal with that. And yeah.
Nice, nice. Talk to us about the entire Xangle research side as well, because that's how I've been looking up to you guys for a while in terms of the reports and the way research has been currently been outlined for the community out there. Can you shed some lights on it? What's the next vertical that you're primarily focusing on from 2025 perspective? Would love to understand more about that.
Yeah, so we've been writing our research since 2020. So
Okay.
we are one of the very early pioneers writing Web3 research article into the community. Our research is distributed through our research portal, as well as also like the prominent distribution channels such as Bloomberg
Okay.
or Naver, which is the largest
Nice.
portal in South Korea. So um, that being said, we are also trying to evolve our research. If you think about why would a project write a research, mostly it's in order to like spread the core story, the core narrative of a particular project to the community.
Yeah.
And yes, research is a very effective tool to spread it in a more neutral perspective.
Yeah.
But what we are trying to achieve, again, with the help of AI agents, we are trying to provide those professional research knowledge in forms of our RAG
Okay.
and feed it into a LLM model,
Okay.
so that our chatbot would create different forms of insights to the community 24 hours, 365 days,
Nice.
nonstop, so that the core narrative proliferates much more effectively throughout the
Nice.
community.
And are these RAGs and the agents, would they be potentially integrated into all the popular social medias? Like, are you planning to put it on
Sure,
Twitter?
sure. 2 days ago, we launched our first character.
Oh,
Her name is
nice.
Sasha.
Slasha.
Sasha.
Sasha. Oh,
Yeah,
nice. Cute name.
yeah, but the first letter is X for
Okay.
Xangle,
Nice.
and and yeah. So and she is on Twitter right now.
Nice.
But over time, we're gonna have multiple characters. Some of them will be dedicated for each ecosystem as well,
Lovely.
and they will interact each other. They will be linked as a whole one story. Each other, and they will be integrated to different social media such as Discord
Nice.
or Telegram and so forth.
Nice, nice. And what's the knowledge so far that you've trained Sasha on? Is it majorly around DeFi? Is it majorly around infrastructure? Like, what is the knowledge area so far?
So we're still in the early phase,
Okay.
but we've been fitting it with our recent research articles that we've been publishing over the last like 6 months, and also feeding with the latest news of each project that we are supporting.
Nice.
And then it would like digest those information and produce a Twitter post that matches her character, as well
Nice.
as capturing the sense of the core information that should be
Nice,
delivered.
nice. That's nice. Make her a bit more witty and sarcastic. I think that's what community would like it.
Oh yeah, yeah. So we definitely might have one character
Okay.
that is very maybe sarcastic, and which would be beloved by the community. And
Nice, nice.
But we will also have a lot of other like characters.
Nice, nice, nice. And talking about the current market overall, how has it been so far for you? Like, what type of projects are you particularly looking forward to work majorly from the broader Xangle's business perspective?
Yeah, we don't actually put kind of a limitation in terms of what the project should be that requires to like work with us. But in general, we tend to prefer those foundations who have a long-term view in terms of growing their own project.
Right.
Yeah, and mostly those kind of projects tend to be rather larger foundations, but we don't want to be that much be confined to only those the bigger foundation, but also would love to work help other foundations who have good intentions and have a rather long-term vision to interact with the community, grow the community, and accomplish the things that they're saying they will do. So
Nice, nice, nice. Interesting. And what's your general take on DePIN right now? This is something that we ask everyone on this podcast. Would love to learn more about.
yeah, quite frankly, I might not be the most
You're still new to it.
professional in terms of the DePIN space, but yeah, I see a lot of potential, especially in terms of how DePIN could be integrated with the AI space. For example, like in the future, I believe that more and more things will get automated, so
Yeah.
that we need less people in terms of working as we used to work, and where would people get replacement from the salaries they would receive from working, and there I get my guess is people would generate a lot of data in their daily life, and
Yeah.
those kind of data will be uploaded to the public chains in forms of DePIN, and then the AI models will utilize those data to produce some productive services, and
Right.
how those data will, how much those each data points contributes the actual outcome will also be transparently assessed, so that people will be able to get passive income from those scenarios. So
Right.
that's kind of the picture that I have.
Nice.
And that's why I also believe that DePIN will play a key role
Nice.
in such a world.
Awesome, awesome. And you've been also working in the infrastructure space, running validators and all these aspects across the board. Like, when did you start it? What was the inspiration around it? What was the first client or first project or first foundation that you worked with as well?
So yeah, so actually the motivation we got into the validator space is not that we really try to be kind of the core validator provide the only like pushing our validator service as our core service, but
Right.
we would love to be in the skin of the game with or be in the same incentive position with the foundations
Okay.
when we build the services for the foundation,
Right.
such as our Explorer, such as our hub, as well as writing our research. We would love to be like incentivized by the growth of the foundation by contributing it, and then rather than receiving some fixed amount of grants, it would make much more sense to run their validators, having getting staked by the foundation to incentivize for the services that we provide. And that also helped us to establish kind of a more long-term relationship with the foundation. So
Got
that
it.
was kind of the motivation. We got into the validators. Now we're running about 10 to 15 validators.
Okay.
We have plans to grow
Expand.
expand, and yeah, hopefully we are being successful in the journey.
Nice. And what was the first one that you run? Like, which was the first project, first chain that you run a validator node on?
Post chain.
First one.
First one.
Yeah.
First one. I don't even remember. That was 4 years ago.
Okay.
There were
Was it
maybe it was a Vietnamese chain.
Okay.
actually. I don't really remember the name, but
Interesting.
but it was back in 2020.
Got it.
Yeah, so that was our first like attempt to run a validator node. But the point where we got seriously involved in running professional validators was when we had to run a validator for Avalanche and
Nice.
and so forth. So
Got it. Interesting. Good to know that you don't remember the name. But yeah, super exciting, man. I think, yeah, that's pretty much I Wanted to have a quick chat with you. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Good to bump into you here,
Oh, yeah.
and looking forward to work closely with you as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Me
thank
too.
you,
Me too.
thank you, thank
Thank
you
you
so
so
much.
much. Thank you so much.